To learn to live the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. It's all free. So I tell you, today is just a beautiful fall day. We got down to freezing temperatures last night. It was the first time we had frost this morning when I woke up. The fall colors are just all over the place this year. So last year we must just had a dead season when it came to fall colors. I mentioned in a previous video that our fall colors weren't very good last year, but in yesterday's video I was down in the woods and I didn't really pay attention to the fall colors until I started editing the video, and it was just amazing how pretty it was. I'm kind of excited about this fall. Obviously we're burning firewood now and it's very relaxing. I don't know, the off-grid portion, the independence is really starting to take a hold emotionally now. We've been so busy getting things in place that now it's just, let's go for the ride. I wanted to give you a brief update on a video that I made the other day. I talked about one of my batteries had depleted. I overcharged it apparently with my new battery charger, and so all the water was out of it. So I put distilled water in it. Well, unfortunately that didn't fix it. I noticed that I couldn't get through the night with my batteries. No matter how much I charged it with the battery charger, I charged it with the solar panels, and I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. At 6 o'clock the refrigerator would try to kick on around 6 o'clock, and there was just not enough energy to kick it on, so the inverter would shut off. So yesterday I spent some time working on it. So I want to put a link to that video at the end of this video, and if you'll click that and watch it, give you some information about what was going on, because I went through it pretty thoroughly. It also will tell YouTube's algorithm that you like this video and that video. I would appreciate it. It helps me out. So yesterday I worked on the battery. There was a couple options I had available to myself. Either I just replace the battery and spend $90, or I try to fix it. And I think I was able to fix it. So what I did was I isolated to make sure the battery is bad. So I took all the batteries off the system. I had the generator running, so there was nothing that was hooked up to the solar panels or the house as far as DC electric. And I tested every battery, and all of them read 12.4 volts, which is good. 12.3 is low, so 12.4 just means that they went through the night okay. But then I went to the last battery, or the bad battery, and it was at 12.1. So that was the obvious indicator that was the bad battery. Of course I knew which one it was, but I wanted to make sure that that's what I was looking at, and sure enough that was the bad battery. So what I did was I started the generator, and my battery charger has a rejuvenate button. Most new battery chargers do nowadays. I let that run probably 8 hours. It just takes time, so you're on the generator all that time rejuvenating it. And it just, if you have lead acid batteries, something you're going to have to do, especially if you mess one up, and it preserves the battery life a little longer. So I'll get 4 years out of this now that I was able to fix it. So the rejuvenate, what it does is sends little pulses of electricity in there, and it breaks off all the crystallization on the battery cells. And so last night I tested it, and sure enough we got through the night just fine. Had 12.3 volts at 6 o'clock this morning, so it was right at minimum. Now it could have lasted another 3 or 4 hours probably on 12.3 volts. So what I'm going to do, because obviously the days are still going to get shorter, is I'll go ahead and get another battery. So speaking of sun and solar panels and the benefits of sun and all that stuff, so I've told you many times this past summer we did a test garden. Here's the remnants of our test garden. The year before, last year, we still have tomatoes coming off of this thing. Look at that. So last year we tried to plant a garden and we just didn't have enough sunlight. Obviously what you see over here is all the trees. The sun comes up in the morning this direction and then sets in the west over here in this direction. So this was all filled with trees also. If you'll remember, I cleaned all this up right here. All this was covered in trees, so it's much barer now. So it looked identical to that over there. So that proved to me that there's enough sunlight in the evening time to make sure the garden had enough sun. So this coming summer, this coming spring, we are going to plant corn here. Well, when you look at it, it's blocked by all this. So we have to clean this up. Carolyn didn't really want to. She liked the ambiance of it all, but she also recognizes that we just have to clean it up so we can have a garden. She wants a big garden next year. We've talked about getting pigs. We're pretty sure we're going to get pigs. And so we want to be able to grow plenty, because pigs will be able to eat the corn stalks and the corn husk, the silk, all that. So we'll be able to dry all that out, give it to the pigs. So today I'm going to try to knock some of this down. I think I'm not going to do a lot of work because it's a beautiful day and I got all winter to do this, so I'll just do a few every now and then when I guess whenever I feel like I want to do it. So this up here is pretty messy, and when I say messy, they've actually kind of junked it up, and I'll show you an example of that over here. You might be able to see it already, but there's just junk laying all over here. If I could get the lawnmower in here, I could knock down a lot of these saplings like this. I'd just come in here with the lawnmower, knock all this down, and be easier for me to clean up, because all this is thorny bushes. But you might be able to see right there, there's all kinds of junk in here. And that's the way this entire property has been since we bought it. So it's just a massive cleanup. Look at this barbed wire fence, old smokestacks or something, I don't know what those are, buckets, just everything, and it's all back here. Old bed frame here, look at that. That's probably one of those hide-a-beds. So that's gonna have to come out. That's actually got the tree growing through it. Don't know if you can see that. So that's gonna be challenging with the chainsaw. I don't know what that is. Some sort of heater, I guess it's a fan, maybe it's a box fan. So I'll just take my time and do what I can, as long as it's done before springtime so we can get the corn planted. Now the hatchet, I noticed the other day, I never played with a hatchet before. Wish I had one when I was a kid, because I used to carve out bike trails with an old pocket knife, not a pocket knife, it was just a, I don't know, it was like a 4-inch blade. And I would carve out bike trails with that. But this hatchet has really come in handy on some of the smaller saplings. Kind of give you an example here. I'll try to do it so you can see it. But just a couple whacks and it's coming down. Look at that. There it goes. So I'm going to get in here and knock some of this down. I'm going to knock some of this down with the chainsaw, these bigger trees here. I got a little bit done until I bent my chainsaw bar. I gummed it up pretty good. What happened was is a little twig like this over here or something bound up in between the chain and the bar, and the chain kept going and it just kind of bent everything up. So it happens. This chainsaw is over a year old now, year and a half old, almost 2 years old. It's a $125 Ryobi chainsaw. I mean, it's the smallest one they had, and that's why I got it. That way I'm not afraid of tearing it up. I can come in here and just do whatever I need to do. If I had a steel chainsaw, oh no, you don't want to do that. So I'm glad I tore up a little cheap one. Now I can go over to the hardware store and pick up a new 14-inch bar. It'll be fine. I don't even think they're that expensive, maybe 10, 20 bucks. I got a little bit done. Knocked down 3 medium-sized trees. I don't even know, small trees, whatever you want to call them. But it really cleaned it up. I had to pull this one out, but everything is just, you know, thorn bushes and twigs, and so between me and the chainsaw we were getting tore up pretty bad. But come back in here, try to do it without unplugging my mic, and you can see people have dumped just all kinds of junk in here. Hubcaps. I mean, when's the last time they put a hubcap on a car? The 80s, 70s? So this has been here a long time. Oil bottles, what is that? No, that's, yeah, an oil bottle. That must That's pretty new. So I don't have much more to go. A couple cedar trees, and then right along the fence line, well, I don't know, that used to be a fence line, but that's not anymore. There's a big old rock over there. So we'll get in here done. But like I said, just a little bit at a time. That way, when things like this happen, I'm in no hurry. This is the first freeze we had. I wasn't going to come out here until after the freeze. That way the ticks and snakes will go away. This is what independent living is all about. Do it when you got time to do it, when you feel like doing it. I mean, it's got to get done, don't get me wrong. Can't be lazy about it, can't procrastinate. Now it'll take me a couple weeks, a week, to get a new bar, and then I can come out and do it again, tear up another chainsaw. I'm not going to take the bigger chainsaw out here. It'd just be too much to handle. With all the twigs and everything, it'd be dangerous. I try to use the smallest chainsaw as possible for the job, that way you don't get kickback. Here's an old tire. Now somebody suggested these tires, ones without the rims inside of it, is an old trailer tire from the old mobile home that we built our tiny house on. That's a good possibility. There used to be another one here, but I made a rocket stove out of it. Just a little steps at a time is all you do when you're trying to do a big project like this. You take on too much and it will overwhelm you. But just a little piece here and there, a tree here and there, that's how I got all this done. This was just as bad last winter as what you just saw back here. So just little pieces at a time, and it comes together. So if you'll click on this video right here, it'll tell you about that battery and all this stuff. It'll help the algorithm know that you like this video. So I hope I can inspire you to take little bites at your dream. Thanks for watching.